Snow White is the first animated movie Disney ever made. It dropped on December 21st in 1937. It's 88 minutes long. Basically, this queen literally summons a magic face guy to appear, and the queen asks a magic mirror face guy, who's the most pretty? And he's like, honestly, it's Snow White. And the queen does not like that. Then it shows there's a girl named Snow White, and she's really poor. Then she sings like a song about wells, that's kind of fire. And while she's singing, the prince pulls up and breaks in the castle, and he hard professes love to her, singing his heart out, trying to get the girl to like him. And she just kind of stands there smiling, then closes the curtain. And then it just cuts to the queen. But there's like no context, what happens next, no explanation. So obviously, the queen asks one of her dudes named Huntsman to take Snow White to a secluded place and kill her. To make sure he doesn't fail, he tells her to bring back her heart in like a handmade heart box that is designed to store hearts. Like it's like a really nice box too. It's got like a sword through a heart as well. The guy who made it must have been like, yeah, I mean, sure, that's a strange decision, but I'll make it, I guess. But anyways, then the guy, he's about to kill Snow White, and he chickens out, and he tells her to run away in the woods. And then he gives the queen a pig heart in a box. I personally think this is why bringing someone's head was invented, because, you know, this guy was hired, and like anyone else, he just put a different person's heart in the box. But basically, Snow White freaks out and sees a bunch of scary foliage while she's running away in the woods, and then she falls to the ground in fear and terror. But it turns out all the scary faces were just little cute animals. Then she apologizes to the animals, sings a song, and the animals take her to a house. But the house is literally fully unlocked, just chilling in the woods. And she just breaks in, cleans the house alongside the animals while singing, obviously, and falls asleep in their bed. Their beds all have their names on them, and for some reason, in the United States, as a whole, we have decided that knowing the names of the seven dwarfs is the most important piece of American pop culture to ever exist. So, the names of the seven dwarfs are Grumpy, Sneezy, Dopey, Sleepy, Happy, Doc, and Bashful. Remember, Bashful. He's the one you want to remember, okay? It's the 5 E ones, right? Grumpy, Sneezy, Dopey, right? And then Doc, and then Bashful. Bashful is one you will forget, okay? And if you remember these, you'll probably be like, on average, $100 richer. And I expect a percentage of that later, so, okay. I think this is when the movie starts to get really good, because the animals are super cute and animated in a way that makes them, like, makes their movement super satisfying. Like, genuinely, I love watching these animals move. If you watch this movie, pay attention to it, because they're all hand animated and it looks really cool. But not the people though. People don't look that cool. I know the people were often made through rotoscoping, which looks kind of bad. Rotoscoping, if you don't know, is when you record a person doing movement, then just trace over the picture on a separate sheet of paper. Basically, it's like making hand turkeys, but like the long way. Anyways, we then see the rightful homeowners mining diamonds in their mine. I'd like to take this time to discuss how much this music slaps. I know this music was released in 1937, but dang, they cooked with this one. Also, another side note, when locking things up, Dopey puts the key next to the locked door. It's not even under a rug, which is wild. Anyways, they come home, see there's an intruder, and find out it's Snow White. They want to kick her out, and then they find out she's on the run from the queen, but decide not to kick her out because she can cook them food, which is a 1937 moment and a 1937 joke, which will stay there. Anyways, she confirms she can make gooseberry pie, and everyone's super hyped, and then she starts cooking. She then says they gotta wash their hands, which leads to a funny scene of everyone forcing Grumpy to wash his hands. Aside from Grumpy being a terrible person to be around, it's funny and overall W message, so wash your hands, good. Side note, I love how Dopey moves through this entire movie. Like, his movement is so smooth. It's just satisfying to watch him whenever he's on screen. If I could move like him in real life, I would. Anyways, next, we see the witch become an old person with a potion. This part never made sense to me because, like, why doesn't she just give Snow White the old-looking person potion? I guess it's like to disguise herself. I understand this, but she could just give Snow White the old person potion. And, like, if her goal is to be the prettiest, instead of making herself ugly and killing her opposition, she can instead just make Snow White ugly. Anyways, then Snow White and all the seven dwarves chill, have a dance party, and go to bed. And Snow White sleeps in 3 of their beds like earlier, but instead of sleeping in the 4 uncompany beds, all 7 dwarves sleep downstairs, which is nice of them, I guess. Then, in the middle of the night, we watch the witch / formerly queen make the poison apple that can only be cured by a true love's kiss. Basically, you look like you're dead until the first true love kisses you. Otherwise, we're buried alive. The best part about this scene, though, is the crow watching and reacting like a live streamer reacts to Mr. Beast as she makes the apple, and he's like, what? Oh, wow. No way. She did not just do that. Anyways, she makes the apple and starts sprinting to Snow White. Apparently, Snow White is a princess, which I think would make her the queen's daughter, but I looked it up, and apparently in the OG book, the queen is Snow White's mom, But in the Disney New Age stuff, the queen is the evil stepmother, because I guess like mom, daughter, murder isn't exactly G, I guess. Anyways, the stepmother is rushing to kill her stepdaughter. Morning rolls around and all the dwarves leave. She begins making gooseberry pie as her promise. So you thought it was weird earlier when I mentioned gooseberry pie by name, but here we are now where it matters. Anyways, she makes the pie and all the animals all join in and help, which I don't know if is exactly sanitary, but whatever. The pie looks good, so I'm okay with it. But then, out of absolutely nowhere, the witch jump scares the viewer. Genuinely terrifying. If I was a baby in the movie theater, I would immediately start crying. But because I'm an adult, I will definitely not start crying. I do have to say though, when I was 2 years old, I think I watched this movie and I was terrified of the witch because she was super scary, and now watching it again, she's still super scary. It's not even how she looks. Okay, it's mostly how she looks. But watching it again, it's also her body movements. Like, just the way she moves is scary. Anyways, she pulls up, says the apple is actually a wishing apple. Snow White eats the apple, falls to the floor, and presumably dies. The animals, this entire time, try and save her, but they can't alert the dwarves in time. They try and stop the witch before entering the house, but Snow White is stupid and thinks that the animals who have been by her side this whole time are just playing dumb right now. Like, anyways, the dwarves get back and they are pissed. This is actually the best scene in the movie because the dwarves come back riding on the deer and without even looking to see if Snow White is dead, they just immediately chase the witch. Like, nobody even sees that she's dead. The animals don't, the dwarves don't, but they still chase the witch until she falls off a cliff and presumably dies. Like, she tries to crush them with a boulder, but before, like, she does, the cliff gets struck by lightning, and it's a whole thing. But overall, she ends up falling and dying. The dwarves end up having a whole funeral for her. Lucky for her, they made her casket out of glass and gold so everyone can see inside. Kind of creepy if you ask me, but whatever. Then the dwarves and all the animals pay respects after they remove the top part, which defeats the purpose of the top part, but whatever. Then, the craziest thing ever happens. The prince pulls up, gets off his horse, and immediately without hesitation, kisses dead Snow White on the lips. Really quick, it's important to note that, you know, this is a dead person right now that is dead, but basically, grown man hops off horse, kisses dead girl on the lips, then 5 seconds later, she wakes up, and without hesitation, he lifts her head and gives her a big hug, and is like, yo, what's up? How's it going? The animals and dwarves all react in excitement, halfway shock, but the guy does not care at all. Maybe he knew, I guess. She gets off the horse, kisses the dwarves' bald heads goodbye like earlier, and Snow White and the prince leave, and they live happily ever after and ride into the sunset. Alright, quick theory though. In the very first scene that got cut off, what if the prince is actually told to leave by the queen? But the prince doesn't like this and sneaks around her dungeon, finds the spell book of spells, reads the spell book of spells, and knows exactly what to do when he sees her asleep. I mean, it was either that or the prince is strange. So hopefully it's the first one. That's what I'm gonna, live with and operate with. Anyways, good movie overall. The story's not for me, but it's definitely fun to watch. Everything moves good, sounds good, well, except for the people. But I do like how it gives an interesting aesthetic though. Overall, I'm going to have to rate the movie a 6+, or 6.5 out of 10 for the first time watchers out there. Overall, good movie. If I was watching this in 1937, I would give it an 11 out of 10 though. I feel bad rating it a 6+, because I do understand that everything this movie does right was likely the first of its kind, yada yada yada. If you disagree with my rating, actually please comment down below, because I genuinely want to try and give good ratings. If you agree or have anything else you want to say, you can also comment there too. Actually try and reply to every comment, maybe. If you didn't like the video, please press the dislike button, and if you liked it, press the like button. If you loved it, press subscribe. This is my way of seeing which scripts, ratings, and reviews I wrote are best, and thank you for watching until the end.